Watch Dogs 1 in 2023. This actually really surprised me, like genuinely. We all know this game was a big disappointment when it first got released, as it felt like a downgrade compared to what we saw from the E3 footage back in the day. But playing this again in 2023 was really interesting, and it changed my perspective of this game quite a lot, which I wasn't really expecting. Did you play Watch Dogs 1 back in the day? Give the video a quick like rating if you did, and let's see how many of you are watching. So firstly, the graphics. This is one of the main reasons why people were disappointed with this back in the day. It definitely did not look like the E3 presentation, and many people thought they got catfished. But playing this again, I can honestly say it really does hold up for the most part. The setting, character models, cars, and everything else doesn't look dated, and the lighting effects are still pretty damn impressive, even by today's standards. Graphically, I'm impressed, and the small details were definitely not missed. I've also seen there has been some graphic mods made for this game, which apparently transform this into a true next-gen experience. If you would like to see me try this out, just like the video, and we will do this very soon. Performance. Oh boy. I chose to play this on PC, expecting it to be the best platform to play it on performance wise. Boy was I wrong. From the very first time I loaded up this game, Aiden's coat was flapping more than pissing in the wind, which was bloody annoying, along with the flickering sky. And I couldn't work out what the hell was going on, but I did a bit of research and found out that if you have really high FPS in this game, you're going to get bugs with the physics. And essentially, you have to cap the game at 60 FPS, or you will get these bugs. When capped at 60 FPS, I somehow got FPS drops at times, which is purely the game, as the PC port is piss poor, and therefore I would recommend only playing this on console, where there is little to no issues performance wise. The open world. This was surprising. I was impressed by the way this game makes you feel when you play it. For a game that was released in 2014, the open world feels surprisingly alive, and not in the terms of highly populated areas, as I guess back then the hardware wasn't as capable, but you'd be walking around the streets and inside buildings, and you see NPCs actually react with each other, and also with what's going on around them. Listening into their phone call conversations and reading their text messages is also such a great little idea, which helps with the world building. These little details are what makes the difference, as we've seen from games like Red Dead Redemption 2. To put it simply, it never felt like the NPCs in this game were just hopelessly walking around and doing nothing, and instead the world felt like NPCs were actually living in it, which is pretty amazing. Gameplay. I was expecting it to feel a bit dated in places. Aspects such as the cover system in gunfights certainly does feel dated, along with the gunfights themselves. The combat animations are rather basic, but still look decent. The driving is certainly not amazing by any means, but it's still very much playable, and the parkour isn't up to par with Watch Dogs 2. However, animations as a whole are still one of the best in the franchise, in my opinion. Walking around the streets with your hands in your pockets, looking like an absolute badass as you find out all the details of the people around you, feels the bollocks. The animations really shine during the chase sequences or events in the main story. I also really missed hacking bridges, which is fun as hell, and although the hacking in this game is basic when compared to the later Watch Dogs, you will still really enjoy the fundamentals during the stealth missions, as seeing the NPCs react to people getting picked off around them is entertaining as hell. I also personally felt it was refreshing not having to use any damn drones all the time, like you do in the newer games. The basic hacking premise presented here is enough to enjoy playing through this game, and at times it makes you feel like a real badass, or badass as you might say, without the need of all the new fancy hacking features in the newer games. This shows you that you don't really need them. The online mode. For those wondering, the online modes are still active, and I really enjoyed joining people's sessions and hacking them whilst they try and find me. It's essentially hide and seek, and I always love the idea of trying to blend in with the NPCs as the other player tries to find out who you are, as on their screen you are just a random NPC character model attempting to blend into the world. It's still really fun to play this, even though it sounds kinda dumb. You have to try it yourself. I also love the fact you can just be chilling on a train and out of nowhere someone starts trying to hack you. The transition from playing offline story mode to all of a sudden being hacked by an online player is seamless, as there is no loading screens and it can happen at any time. When this happened to me, it caught me off guard and it's just really fun, to be honest. The story mode. I don't really want to focus on this too much, as the story has been spoken about hundreds of times over the years, but in my opinion it's one of the strongest story modes of the Watch Dogs franchise. It's a revenge story that truly makes sense and it works. Nothing special, but it's half decent. I also love the vigilante aspect of this game. You can either be a total arse and just kill innocent people and not give a toss, or you can try and be the city's vigilante and take down criminals using your hacking abilities. The vigilante meter will adjust depending on what decisions you make, and I have no idea why, but I really like the random events in this game where you have to scan NPCs for potential criminal activity, and once you find the criminal you can actually prevent the crime from happening and just absolutely twat them. I don't know why, but I find this really fun, even though it's kind of basic. The whole vigilante aspect I really enjoy, and I kind of wish it was pushed more in the future games. So overall, should you play Watch Dogs 1 in 2023? If you want my honest opinion, I would say yes, as it's bloody cheap to buy these days. I think I got my copy for about £4, which is about $5 US, and whether you've played this before back in the day or not, you will definitely get some enjoyment out of this game. And I think you'll be surprised at how good it was. Maybe it was slated way too hard back in the day for not living up to the E3 footage, but this is partly Ubisoft's fault. I actually hadn't played this game since 2014, and this game was so enjoyable, I ended up playing through the story mode again whilst making this video. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Leave a comment down below what you think of Watch Dogs 1, and if you would like to find out whether Watch Dogs Legion, the latest game in the franchise, has killed it or not, and whether there is going to be a Watch Dogs 4, just go ahead and click the card on screen to check out that video. It's definitely worth a watch. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your day.